Some photographers will knock others for not using flash in their work. You might not even know what a flash can do for you. So let's go over how a simple setup can change the look of your pictures. It's been a while since I said it. Yes, sir! Today we are looking at pictures without flash and with flash in slave mode. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are these photos that I'm going to show you perfect? Absolutely not. But the point of this video is to show you some before and after videos using flash and just to help you get your creative juices flowing so you can go out and take amazing pictures with flash and safe mode. So to start, you're probably wondering what gear I'm using. The camera is a Fujifilm X-S10. The flash trigger is a Godox X1T. And the speed light is a Godox TT685F, with the F meaning is for Fujifilm. When assembling this on a stand, the speed light goes onto the Godox S-type Bowens mount holder, followed by a white translucent umbrella made by Newer. Now, you can put the mount on any type of stand you want, but the sturdier, the better. Let me set the scene for you. The sun was quickly setting. There were a bunch of clouds that were passing by the sun. The temperature was about 30, 40 degrees. It was cold, it was windy, it was raining. My fingers were freezing. My model, Kane, he was freezing. It was kind of miserable. I digress. But for the first photo, I told Kane to turn around. Let's have the sun behind you so that I can expose for the background. I did that by raising the shutter speed, but you could also expose for the background with the aperture if you wanted more of the background in focus. That wasn't the case here. As a result, the subject is not properly exposed since there is not a good light source in the direction he's facing. Contrast that with this photo where the flash was fired. Because I'm only using one flash, you can see how the light drops off and there is shadowing on the other half of his face. Now, this is certainly a look. I like this look in this instance, but if I wanted to fill in the shadows on the other side of his face, I could have used a reflector to reflect some of the light from the flash back on that side of his face. Or I could have used a second flash at a lower power. Now, I made a mistake here. Because the flash power isn't in the files for every photo, I can't specifically tell you what the flash power is, but in future videos, I'll make sure I write a note down for photos that I like so that I can share specific flash power settings for each photo. For these photos, just keep a record that I was working somewhere between 1/8 and 1/64 flash power for the photos. Something else that you have to consider when you're shooting in broad daylight with high-speed sync is, if there's clouds going past and the condition keeps changing, you're going to have to keep adjusting your settings. For some of these other photos, you can see how I use the sun as a key light on my subject, and then I use a flash to fill in the shadows on the other side of his face. Now, one thing that I did, and this is totally up to me, it was my personal preference, I didn't want to look like the flash was overpowering my subject. I didn't want the photo to look like, oh, that's definitely a flash right there. I had a couple of photos where I just wanted to fill in the shadows a little bit, and I was okay if there was shadowing on the inside of his face. For one of these photos, I wish I would have filled in the shadows around his eyebrows a little bit more with the flash, but I can live with some of these photos. One drawback from this setup is there isn't enough flash power to use this setup as a full body flash. What I mean is, for these videos, I had to keep the flash pretty much close to my subject just because there is a degree of light spilling out the side since it's not a closed system modifier. Plus, the flash power isn't as great as some of these other flashes out there. As a result, I pretty much recommend photos from the waist up for a setup like this. Now, I think everything in this setup costs less than $250. You know what, to be safe, I'll say less than $300. I haven't actually done the math. I'll do that while I'm editing the video. But if you don't want to have an expensive setup right now, you just want to get started in using off-camera flash, this is definitely a setup that you can work with. Like always, watch a couple of other videos, see what actually works for you so that you can get a good idea. But honestly, the possibilities are endless. And I'm excited to see what you guys create. If you're interested in any gear that I use in this video, be sure to check out the links in the description. If you've enjoyed this video and you would like to check out more in the future, please consider subscribing.